Dead Island 2 is about to receive its first major DLC, and we have all the details there with that, including several story bits, as well as what looks to be some of the main characters detailed. We also have those reviews that have just gone out. We also have some rewards that you can be getting online right now, as well as an additional secret reward, and a whole bunch more. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, world? We're back in the river checking out all things Dead Island 2. So Dead Island 2 is receiving its first DLC under the expansion pass, and this first DLC is called House. Now, a good thing to note is that under the expansion pass, you will actually be receiving both story expansions, as there is going to be another major story expansion. Now, there is potential room for more. However, it does look like under the expansion pass, you will be getting two major story expansions. Now, there's been two sites that have gone up quite recently with a lot of details around the expansion, as well as some of the characters in it. This first one here is going over essentially who you're going to meet in there, as well as kind of the location that you're going to be in, which is a mysterious villa that's in Malibu. It goes over here that you'll encounter the Cult, a group of unquestionable committed elitists who believe they hold the key to humanity's survival. And it does look like there might be some actual RPG elements to this and some choices that are there, where it has a question here: will you embrace the Cult's vision and fight for the cause? The choice is yours in the first story expansion for Dead Island 2. So some potential story bits there with RPG, as well as kind of choices and decisions. Now, they do go over some more details with the actual cult and what it's kind of like. A secret billionaire's techno cult fights for survival amidst the zombie apocalypse. It said here that the paragons of a new future shown to them by their new leader, or by their leader and prophet, Constantin, which again, I might be pronouncing that wrong, bit of a weird name there, explore their sinister world as you navigate the cult's twisted ideology. And with a lot of the reviews that have just dropped today, in combination with those, it does look like this is mostly going to be contained to a specific area and a specific kind of, like they said, villa and location. Seems much more enclosed than the open world-esqueness of the actual game. Now, if you do remember, at the end of Dead Island, there was a certain character that you encountered throughout the game, basically, and especially near the end, who was Lola Condrat. And it does look like, of course, she's going to be the forefront of this DLC, or at least she's going to be implemented and showcased more off in this. This website also went up quite recently, or a subsection of the Dead Island website. Now, they do go on to disclose more details about her, like that she is one of the most powerful technologists on Earth. Now, this whole article and kind of subsection of the site is actually a kind of magazine interview article, and it goes over kind of the work that she does, like monitoring full physical and chemical biometrics. She goes on to say here that we are hacking millions of years of evolution after all. And yeah, if you coincide that with the ending of Dead Island 2, it seems like she might be the cause of all of this, or she has some involvement in there. They go over a few more things like telepathy, empathy, and shared perspectives and experiences. And when asked about her technology that she's producing, they asked if it's actually an implant. And she goes on to say here that our proprietary technology is organic and self-organizing. So yeah, there's definitely some involvement with the whole zombie apocalypse thing and the whole notion of the entire game. She also goes on to talk about the human body is complex and a varied thing, so we need to avoid invasive surgeries or force a one-size-fits-all piece of monolithic hardware upon our delicate physiology. She goes on to say here that the process takes about an hour and is painless. And this definitely leads more into her sinister way, or at least how she's presented in the main game. And at the end of the quote-unquote interview here, it says at the end, how soon will Brink be available to customers? And she goes on to say that it's not soon enough. So there's definitely some play on stuff there with the whole stuff that happened near the end of the game, especially with the powers that you received during the game. Again, if you want to check out this stuff for yourself, or any of the things that I discussed in this video, I'm going to have a link down to these things in the description down below. Now, we also do have that secret reward, or secret reward online. You do have to log on to a website called Pros, or Prism Online Services. Now, all these rewards are essentially exclusive to Twitch drops or Prime Gaming. However, one of the rewards here through this website, at least, kind of showcasing what will be coming up next, is a secret reward through Prime Gaming. So if you're wanting to collect all the rewards for this game, you probably will need Prime Gaming to get this last reward here, as well as any other skins from previous Prime Gaming rewards. There are some pretty cool ones, and it seems like they've been releasing skins every month. However, I think that most of us have been kind of done with the game until the DLCs come out, so maybe you've kind of missed this stuff, so I'll include links to these rewards down below as well. And it does look like through Twitch and the Prime Gaming right now, the From Dust Jacob is the one that's available. This does end on November 6th, so if you're wanting to get a Jacob skin, you're probably going to need to do that sometime soon. Now again, we did have those review drops, a few of them ACG, IGN, as well as a few others around the actual DLC. Now, it does seem like the expansion is going to be quite short this time around, or at least story-wise and story bits-wise. So far, we've gotten rumors around it being 3 hours long and just a few hours long there. The actual story for the game isn't insanely long either, although I did significantly enjoy it. And I do think that some of the reviewers were a little bit harsh on the actual original release, more so than other games. Especially some recent titles that definitely did not get the treatment that Dead Island got. I do think there's some give or takes there, and there should have been probably a little bit more than Dead Island 2, and I think they could have done a little bit more with it, especially with weapons and things like that. However, overall, it's a really good baseline, and it received a lot lower reviews than I had thought it was going to receive. Again, especially comparative to some of the recent titles that we've gotten. So I would probably take some of these recent reviews with a grain of salt, as they kind of have some lopsided reviews there. However, it would be really unfortunate if the story is only 3 hours long or it's super short for DLC. But however, if you did get the expansion pass and you had the gold edition, or you were one that received my gold edition giveaway and you did end up getting the expansion pass, this will not be the only DLC. So we're more than likely going to see more story additional content, as well as maybe even some new characters or character skins. There's nothing on the site as of now, just the character pack that we've already received, the new weapon that we got, as well as the major story expansion that we're getting now, and that new major story expansion that just has a coming soon on there that's probably going to be ways away, months away, hopefully, so that way they can actually deliver quite the quality experience and at least more than 3 hours of content. Now, we did have a few questions here on the forums as well as the Reddit posts. So someone asked here if the house DLC is going to be sold separately, as they aren't seeing any other option to actually buy the DLC other than getting the expansion pass. Now, the expansion pass is quite cheap comparative to other DLCs, or is typically what a price of a DLC normally is. So the expansion pass total is only $30. Now, granted, if this was the only story DLC we were receiving, I'd probably say that that's definitely not worth it. However, with in combination receiving both DLCs, as well as how they would actually price this DLC, and if it is only 3 hours of content or it is very short, I doubt that they could get a proper price tag for it, so the expansion pass being the only thing is probably what's going to be the case. Again, $30 is typical for most DLCs, or at least what most DLC content is, or expansion pass pricing. So if we're taking that in combination that you're receiving two, $30 is probably fairly reasonable. And it just doesn't seem like you're going to be able to buy the DLCs separately, so you're going to have to buy them in combination. If there is an update to anything here like that or anything else, I will include that down in a pinned comment down below. We've also had several posts on the release time of the DLC. Now, out of everything I could find, I can only find that it's being released on November 2nd. So far, we have not received any dates or time updates. And even on the Deep Silver main page, they just have November 2nd when they have DLC update when. So not sure when those times will be out. Again, if there's any updates, I'll include it down below. But overall, that should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and deuces.